Yes, it was. Here's who's playing. Daniel,
It's
you didn't even answer my question.
It's the one day of the month when you guys always eat breakfast.
This is Super Bowl. Yep. Word for me, man. Daniel.
Oh yeah.
All the other days of the month?
Super Bowl. Me. Daniel.
I get to make
Because
buffalo wings for Super Bowl today, but
Weston keeps trying to tell me that they're four this one flavor is real because they don't make that at Lincoln.
Is it a weapon?
It's cinnamon. Cinnamon roll.
Like, I might want to stay with
Strudel dough, not really, it's more of a short dough. There is some kind of filling that differs by flavor. Yeah, it's like I said. Filled with some kind of filling and then iced with some kind of icing. And it's different for every flavor. So like this one has chocolate filling, chocolate icing, and a sugar sprinkle. This one has blueberry filling, a sugar icing, and sugar sprinkle.
Weston.
This one has strawberry filling and sugar icing and sugar sprinkle.
We should set the timer
This
on
one
our
has
phone.
marshmallow and chocolate with stripes with a
What time is it on
or some kind of
I don't know. It all depends.
What kind of phones are
I'm just gonna set mine for it will go off in an hour.
Wait, what will?
About
Oh, nice
10 o'clock,
haircut.
right?
Did you get a
Halfway
haircut?
through the show.
Weston, did you get a haircut?
we can warm it up and it's like fresh cookie.
Set yours for 1 hour.
What kind of phone is that?
iPhone 6.
It makes it a
I have
little
an
like
iPhone 8.
12 year
iPhone
And I have it set to pop up pop that every 10 minutes.
It's supposed to drive it,
So it'll
it
like
looks like a toaster.
make a loud
It just
ringtone.
happens to
Wait,
be
what will?
laying down.
Okay,
Oh wait, I forgot to start my
It's an
timer.
oven toaster.
Some
Wait,
people
where's
can
my
actually
time
use
go?
these
What?
like ovens, and I'd rather advance by that, but like my dad's one of them. I don't know how he does it. Who wanted
Timer.
cinnamon roll?
Why is there a happy? What does this say?
Oh, clock.
Why is there a Happy New Year hat on the wall?
Did I have? I don't know. They were by request.
So put it on the timer for 1 minute for 1 hour.
Wait, what?
And then turn up your ringtone off.
Or the alarm.
What will happen?
Alarm. So that way it will like make
Do
it
the loudest noise.
So 10.
1 hour.
So 10 a.m.
Do the loudest noise.
Okay.
Like the noise.
Every Sunday.
It's Sunday rain. How does that sound?
Snooze off.
But what is every Sunday sound?
Sound radar.
Say something important.
That's sick.
That's it.
I'll do this one. Okay, save. Imagine it works. Mine never works. Every time I set my timer.
Turn it up all the way.
What?
Turn it up all the way.
There's a really weird glitch with
What
this
is
song.
that?
I don't even think
AirPods?
there's a
AirPods?
really weird
No.
Why?
These are.
I don't know the answer to that. Power involved, and your phone completely reboots. So if you try to turn up the volume and your phone just happens to be where the power is, you've rebooted your phone. No. Reboot. Just turn off. So like you're in the middle of the night, oh here, watch this video. Let me turn the volume up. Second, it'll take me like 4 minutes. I'll get it back. Okay. So I wanted to show you my ringtone, so I turn up the volume. Weston, you need to learn the song.
What?
Come listen.
I'm going to.
Soundtrack?
What is that? $1 that. Oh, I forgot I had this.
Someone on YouTube does classical guitar covers of everything. And
Do
so
it now,
he's
do
doing
it.
Mandalorian. But I found out there's a lot of people that have done it. A ton of people like the theme and have done it on classical guitar. But this guy arranged it himself. Whereas most of them are just playing it note for note. And I like his arrangement. I think he did a really good job.
Jam on back 13.
So you just like the approach. Alright, who had strawberry?
Set it for
This is all still ringtone, by the way.
10 a.m., right? 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Are those free?
Welcome back to Total Wireless. Your phone number is 530-685-5590. Your last day of service.
Oh my gosh.
Matt, you're banned. You don't need to touch my weights anymore.
I got my service back.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So who wanted this one? What would you like?
Who took a dupe on this chair?
Took a what?
You guys said that I wasn't sure if like you were just
Get outplayed.
Give us clean air. Give us pure eyes. Lift our souls to another. Give us clean air. Give us pure
Oh, dude.
one each.
People already have like 10 of them.
That's not even close to true. As far as I don't know, he's had more than one unless they.
Hey.
Here you go, Matt. These are yours.
Oh, that's right. I wonder if every little Hershey's bite though is
We do breakfast day every month.
Oh
and
wait,
sometimes
actually, it's
we
not
do
breakfast day. It's
Oh,
breakfast
bad.
morning. Because if it was day, I wouldn't do breakfast.
You should have bought us something,
They should be like breakfast week.
no, it's,
Breakfast week.
you should have, wait,
It should be breakfast night.
Oh, I just noticed I ate both of my candy bars.
I actually did do that back when I was not in middle school. I was doing
Breakfast.
4th and 6th on Saturday nights. And because Super Bowl was on Sunday, we would do Super Bowl Saturday. And so 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, they'd come to class and just like, if they didn't know it was coming, it was still coming, they didn't know. But I would just have the entire spread. I don't even know what the donut is now. You've so mastered the art of description.
You're like banging on the table. Right, like right here. You're like
Oh, yeah.
slamming the table.
Yeah, I still have no idea.
And then people are like blowing horns and like slamming like pots.
Anybody else think he's crazy? Just me. Okay, good. Well, that's not just me. I wanna be crazy.
Is it every
Daniel, can I have your cake?
like recording?
Hey, bring up the video right now.
Oh yeah, usually, unless there's
What?
a clip.
Okay.
No. It was right here.
What?
It was
What
right
do you
here.
know?
You were blowing horns and banging pots together and like slamming a table.
You're welcome to. Have
So there's a table like right there. And there's like clothes hanging all over the walls.
Do I buy it?
Slam?
No, I just bought it. I haven't even got to eat it.
Daniel.
It wasn't a dream.
That's like a 22.5.
Ah, you made me press a button. I don't want
Congratulations.
that.
Who got strawberries?
Subscribers. You're about to, oh, me.
Yeah, that'd be good. I can't say I like every
Wait,
flavor.
where's my
Every flavor.
popcorn?
I'm so picky about like filled baked goods.
Yeah.
Like I really love.
Alright, if you want to get
It's one of my favorite
Oh
foods.
my goodness. I
And so
found
I stick to that. I know I like it.
Wait, really? Where?
I'm a little afraid to try s'mores, honestly. Alright, who wanted s'mores? Is that each?
You should have let us have
I found it. Daniel Cuneo.
In
It's a
California.
math teacher.
Okay.
and he slaps the white.
It's like a little Italian pizza.
My math teacher
Just like-
slaps the
Everything's not.
Wait,
my math teacher.
wait, Daniel, where's mine?
Oh yeah, what kind of food?
Blueberry.
Oh, okay.
You already got that?
It's
He
in
goes
there.
to my
It's not running
YouTube
yet.
channel.
I was waiting for teachers and winters. You give me an issue for 5 seconds? Come on.
One,
Didn't you already
two,
know?
three,
He scratches that.
four,
Oh my.
five. Okay.
Go to Daniel's.
I found another Daniel Cuneo.
Daniel basketball.
Yeah.
But this guy's actually.
So YouTube automatically updates
No.
your area
Why
code
would you do that?
to the end of your channel name when you're a little
Look at and then go
scrub
to
like
channel push oldest first.
And so I'm Daniel Cuneo Factory Up.
That's
Go
mine.
to filter.
Stealing.
Daniel, that's
How many
amazing.
videos?
I typed in Daniel Cuneo and I had to scroll down like 30 videos to find the one of yours.
Makes sense.
And then you can see it banging on the table.
You're like,
Here, it's
It blends in.
always
Yeah, cylinders, man.
it's
You would know cylinders look just like heads.
I think
It's,
You should do what Johnny did.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is not it. This is. Oh, this is it.
What is this?
That's Saxon. Playing with a toy that I
See,
bought
he was the
from
one
Drew
who's
Mares.
banging on the table.
Daniel that's banging on the table.
Clearly Matt doesn't know what I'm
No,
talking
you were
about.
videoing him.
You got a black man?
A few
Who's
hours
like
of
a half foot taller than me?
Oh, I
was-
saw that.
But you know, it's close, right? It's close. 6 inches and a completely different skin tone. It's close.
You're related.
Yeah, but by marriage, which is different.
Wow, Daniel. That's so cool.
Give me the chocolate.
Did you know that you can actually
Sound like
survive
my
in the
oldest video.
wilderness all by
I'm
jumping?
teaching you how to make a spinning kiddie pool.
Why?
Because I made it a spinning kiddie pool.
Why?
It was a fishing game for kids.
But you
Stick,
didn't play
little
duct
fish in
tape
there and
bowling.
little mouths, and then you stick them like a magnet.
No.
What did it do?
And then the kiddie pool, instead of just like trying to get it on the
Yeah.
magnet, the kiddie pool would
He's
constantly
been
roll
sniped.
up on a point.
You have to try and hit it.
Banging on the table. So I know it's music.
I'm so confused. Is that what I said?
Nope.
Go me? What we have here. How good my Velcro work is.
Wait, let me
That's
see.
exemplary.
Wait, Michael, let me see.
Before it stops.
Plywood.
It has
Rotate from the head
scars.
drill. Stick the kiddie pool onto the plywood.
Oh.
And the best part.
Who's mocha? Someone throw it across the.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
What?
Why is
Wait, let's see the nuggets. Daniel,
Oh, this is
your air hockey table has a problem.
what?
that?
Stop. It's freaking.
No, not your part.
Still not me.
What is this?
I
Daniel,
think I am.
No, it goes down.
wait.
They put the music on. Just keep going down.
Matt, do you even know Saxon?
No.
the other one.
My guy gives us the red wine. Gives us our daily bread. Give me the red one. I want two. This one leaves marks. I'm not using it. There's no Alright, I can do this then. Ha! I have one. Ha! I got two now. Oh, I have three again. Bullying.
When you tell me that I am the one that and then it turns out everything on the screen, it feels as though you don't know who I am. I have no other really everybody was video by
Bad.
and he gave it to us and I posted it all.
That was
Hours.
Oh, my.
So it's 2 against 2.
Ceremony has for that?
No. Oh, we switch
I
everyone.
didn't know that.
It's 1 against 1.
Someone said,
Hold up. Hold it. Hold it. Hold the white. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. You got the white one. You got the red one.
You want to go, boy? Here, we each start one. No. No, restart. Hey, that counts. Hey, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Exactly. You're never playing ever.
It's like butter.
Man, boy.
That's going to the
Come here.
Hey, it didn't go in, it fell out.
Sweetie.
Oh my god. So I have, it's 1-1. Oh,
Hold
no.
up. Spin handle.
Oh,
It's still weird.
wait, no. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, it's his turn.
Okay, I love you.
Ooh.
Straight shot.
Go. You think you're on that side?
That'd be straight.
It's like texting the group.
You can smack straight.
No, it's good. It's in Orline now. Digital sent.
So he has 1 win, he has 0.
It's like, but yeah. I just sent it. Every year
Oh my-
now has a copy.
No! I am overlord. You want to use your hand? Wait! You want to use your hand? Do you? Wait, what? That doesn't count! Yeah, put away one of them. Put away.
Part of the description. You know what? It's so dumb. Sometimes you fill it up right up to the end. It doesn't actually. Sometimes you're like,
Bad.
half centimeter below the edge. It's like, guess what? Today we're gonna explode everywhere.
Let's go.
Why would you want to explode?
Let's go. One more. I have a second. I know. No.
I'm hungry. It's just a drink.
I don't want your money.
What if I am?
Daniel.
Give me it.
Daniel,
Yo, ho, ho.
you remember this?
That case, it seems familiar. Is that the one you got from next door?
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
And guess what's still inside it?
You didn't turn
The guitar from next door?
Yep.
Nice. Is it any good?
Yeah. I restringed it. I polished it.
Nice.
I got new tuning keys. Dude, now it is epic. Except for
Have
the neck's a
you-
little bit wide.
Have you ever heard of a channel called Wintergotten Wednesdays?
Yep. What'd you say?
Matt, why?
It's my dad.
Matt, why?
Why?
Did you steal my tape?
Hey, it's who's playing air hockey with my baby?
I brought my own gaffer tape shirt. What are you talking about, Ken?
Who's playing
Matthew,
That's my
take this
baby.
and run. Matthew!
Thanks, Matt.
Why would
What
you
was
take
that?
my baby?
Matthew.
That's 10 junior high points. in a row.
Matthew.
And I'm taking them out of your 2 accounts.
I smell bread.
I forgot. How do you put in a song
No.
still in here? Because apparently,
Like a song we don't have?
well, yeah, it's just at the cross. I think that's what it's called.
What is he
you could
doing?
Manually, or you could go into
Fortnite Battle Royale.
CCLI, song select,
Michael.
and that's got like a
Michael,
super
not
like
watching
copyrighted
NBA.
music.
You watch too? No.
Michael's watching the Super Bowl
It's coming on the net.
What's a Super
He's
Bowl?
watching the NBA.
from last year.
It's a kind of the NBA Super Bowl.
I need to watch this.
Put your phone in the bucket. No!
My 10,000 MT depends on this.
CCLI song select.
Oh no!
Why'd you give me this thing? Oh no, please.
Fat thing.
What is this? Oh, remember, turn it up all the way.
What happens if you yell Kobe?
Kobe!
Kobe!
No!
Stop doing that.
Kobe Bryant!
That's against the law. You're not allowed.
I know a rap song.
No means.
Not whenever you shoot a basketball hoop and yell Kobe, you can't do that.
You have to yell Curry.
You have to yell Kirby.
She's lonely.
Kirby.
Sit like
What
that.
is this? Is this cocaine?
That's what.
No.
What do you? Why is there a basketball hat?
It's good.
Oh,
What?
yeah. So if you're
What is
here
it?
first thing and I haven't been over here to add stuff, you
I
can always
set up
hit
a
mute
What?
to like break it out. But I'll
One of my friends was dating this girl for like a year.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Give it Weston.
Ugly.
Is it just
And then-
plain
And then
cranberry
and
juice?
then like one
No.
month before
It's got,
game
it's got floaties.
It's got floaties.
and Vince was really like
There's only one leader up
No.
here.
There's 2.
There's one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not allowed.
That was
Weston, get up there and sing. I believe in you.
If I do it,
I
will you
don't
do
see
it?
another one.
Bet.
Bet.
Oh,
Bet. Let's go there.
Let's flop.
Why does everyone bet? Oh yeah, flop.
Daniel,
You
can I
guys,
flop?
if you all flop right now, you're gonna scar Peach. I don't think
Let's
that's
go.
Yes.
Samuel,
I don't think that's
do you
fair.
Let's
want to go
go.
turn off all the lights for me? Except
I'll
for
turn
the
off the lights.
second. Nope. I specifically asked Samuel, guys, sit down, please. Thank you.
She doesn't trust you. And
Let's flop.
All of them, but the one to the
Left.
left of the furthest on the right. That's
Oh my
confusing.
goodness.
Let's get all of
That was
them.
the most confusing. Just,
Did he get it?
I think so. Yeah, that's
That's
it. Good job.
impressive.
Thank you.
What's
If
your
you actually understood that, I am impressed.
I was trying to figure out how to say it, and I couldn't pick up a word.
It doesn't really matter how you say it. Like typically, if you're gambling whether or not they'll actually get it.
Here,
Sometimes I literally
Elise,
number them from
I've
left
got
to
an
right,
easier
and
way
they
to
still
say
can't
it.
get it.
Turn off the 2 to the left and then the 1 to the right.
What does that mean?
Hey, that's
Maybe.
not, that's
the
not
two,
bad.
The 2 farthest to the left and
What
then
happens
the
if
1
there's-
farthest to the right.
I always try and say just leave on, and then try and get them to figure out which one to leave on. Because then you're only trying to communicate with one person. And that's so.
Okay.
Just thinky over here.
Dear God, I thank you for this morning that we get to gather here and worship you and read your word. And I pray that you would just help us to focus and just have a good morning. And I pray this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
makes me rest in fields of green, quiet streams. Though I walk through the valley of death and dying, I will not fear, 'cause you are with me. You are with me. Your shepherd's staff, a comfort to me. You are my feast in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness will follow me, will follow me in the house of God forever. God is my shepherd, I won't be wanting, won't be wanting. He makes me rest, fields of green, quiet streams. Even though I walk through the valley of death and dying, I will not fear, 'cause you are with me. You're always with me. Your shepherd's staff, a comfort to me. You are my feast in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness will follow me, follow me in the house of God forever. The house of God forever. The house of God forever. There's a place where mercy reigns and never dies. There's a place where streams of grace flow deep and wide, where all the love I've ever found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you, I'm in awe of you, where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I'm in awe of you, and I owe all to you, Jesus. comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Here, my hope is found. Here, on holy ground. Here I bow down. Here I bow down. Here, arms open wide. Here, you save my life. Here I bow down. Here I bow. Here, my hope is found. Here, on holy ground. Here I bow down. Here I bow. Here, arms open wide. Here, you save my life. Here I bow down. Here I bow. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Jesus. We bow our hearts, we bend our knees. Oh Spirit, come make us humble. We turn our eyes from evil things. Oh Lord, we cast down our idols. So give us clean hands and give us your hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. Give us clean hands, give us your hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. We bow our hearts, we bend our knees. Oh Spirit, come make us humble. We turn our eyes from evil things. clasp your hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob, God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob, seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob. Lord, I just pray that you would open up our hearts to hear what you have to say to us this morning, and that we will just make it home safely and just bring you glory throughout our day. I pray this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elise. Alright guys, if you don't have a Bible in hand, time to go get one.
Fat penguin.
Hey Elise, real quick, your guitar came through, but only after I like cranked the volume 20x.
Yeah, well,
Is it plugged in?
I don't think so.
I went.
No.
Literally, this is all I said. This is all I saw.
That's odd.
Super strange. Yeah, the first song we didn't have guitar because I thought it was just
Doesn't
drums.
hear
And then I saw one little blip on the volume meter one time on like your hardest drum.
I can't understand that. I'm not the
Yeah, I don't know.
yell.
Interesting. Okay, well I'll play with it between services.
My brother's birthday was on the 29th of January. Can I learn that?
Genesis 24.
Yeah, not 25.
Oh, my Bible's
not
upside down.
23, 24.
Find yourselves Genesis 24.
20 more minutes.
Remember, they're filming.
Yes. We should all get up on
20
stage
more
and
minutes till
swap.
when? Oh, till it goes. Oh, wait. Yes, 20 minutes. Wait, it's all the way up, right?
Yes.
Oh my.
What?
How long is it gonna be?
20 more minutes. Oh, like forever.
What?
Until I turn it off.
No.
Yes.
He did everything except nothing.
Yes.
Wait, do you have a weird ringtone?
Yeah. It's a pretty groovy one.
When it goes on.
Hey Weston. How's it going?
Terrible.
Oh no, what's wrong, Weston?
We're trying to communicate and then you interrupted, so that made it bad.
Oh, 24 is a pretty long one.
It is. We're gonna do it differently today.
Wait, we
Uh,
did
because
25
of how
before
long it is?
24?
What?
We did 25 before 24.
No,
Why
no
would
one
you
said
do
that. Literally no one said that till just now when you said it.
Hey, that's my fault.
It's not true. I don't know where you heard it. I'm not really sure why you're saying it.
Can't, yeah.
We're gonna do it differently today. We're gonna do paragraph at a time.
He can't read it in the first place, so he probably needs this one.
Why is there those things over there?
Because then we can't.
Which things?
Oh, those are. That's just a cup.
You can't read it.
Oh, it's probably just to taunt you.
What?
It's probably just to taunt you.
Wait, what
Can
is
I have
that?
a cookie?
Okay.
Why is that in there?
I want you to in front of you guys.
Okay,
Wow.
so we are in chapter 24 today. We're going to be looking at a very interesting story. This is kind of in between Abraham's main story, his main life tale is almost done, and Isaac's life story. So this is kind of the crossover between the two. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Isn't it like, at like the beginning of like 26 how he dies?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Or it's
thanks
25.
for
It's
spoiling
just
it.
next week.
Spoiler.
It's 25.
Yeah, 25 Abraham dies. So like this is it
Spoiler.
Wait, he's dead?
in next week's chapter.
Wow.
Well, he is dead. But
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Spoilers.
Okay, so Weston, you get to read us the first 4 verses.
What if I don't want to?
Lucky.
Then you can
I'm just
complain
kidding,
about it.
lucky.
Okay, and now you can read us the first 4 verses.
Fat penguins.
Fat penguins. Who wrote that? Was that already there?
That was Justin.
it breaks the
It's
ice.
not Justin.
No, I'm saying that penguin is Justin.
But he's not fat.
But compared
But
to
he's a
penguin,
penguin.
yes he is.
But compared to a penguin, all of us are fat.
Not me.
Actually,
You're skinnier than a penguin?
That's
I
why
would
it says
argue
fat
that penguins probably have a higher body fat percentage.
That's probably true. That's probably true. Based on, general mass. Okay, anyways. Weston.
Abraham was now a very old man, and the Lord has blessed him in every way. One day Abraham said to his oldest servant, the man in charge of his household, take an oath by putting your hand under my thigh. Swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not allow my son to marry one of these local Canaanite women. Go instead to my homeland, my relatives, and find a wife for my son Isaac.
Isaac? We're going with Isaac?
Yes, we are.
It's Isaac.
Alrighty. We'll come back to the hand under the thigh thing because it's going to come back on later. And we'll explain
Which
it
part
better.
of your language?
Yeah. No, it's weird. I don't care how you describe it. I don't care what language study you do. It
Is it
stays
this?
weird.
Or is it
Wait, what?
It's
You have
still
to
weird.
Put your hand on your thigh.
And then we'll cover it in a second, okay? We'll cover
What
it in a
is your
second.
thigh?
For now,
What is your thigh?
for now, just imagine this
Is
as
it this
the
one?
ancient handshake,
Is it this one?
What?
the ancient
Okay.
deal. Swear on it.
Okay.
You guys ever seen something else gross for a deal, like spit on your hand and then shake?
Ew.
That's fake. That's a myth.
That's a myth. Well, then you can just pretend this
That's
is
like,
too.
Or like
Alright.
the
You
cavemen
did,
did, brother.
You've got the second paragraph here.
Oh wait, no, that's what.
Does anybody know why he doesn't want a Canaanite woman to marry his son?
because
Canaanite
he's not a
women
Canaanite.
are bad.
He's not Christian.
Not Christian. I got news for you.
Standing.
Neither's Abraham.
Raise hand.
Oh, no
Hand
way.
raise.
But he
Well,
wanted
now he is.
Follow the timeline. We're in Genesis. Jesus comes and starts
Ah,
Christianity
I have a butt.
in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, which is like way over here.
Oh, nice.
Hasn't happened yet. Okay, in the timeline, it hasn't happened yet. Yeah,
Because they were sacrificing babies.
they were sacrificing babies. That's absolutely true. The Canaanites worshipped Baal by and large. Now, not only Baal. They had lots of different gods they like to worship, but Baal was one of the big ones. Baal and Molech. So Baal's like the. Pretty sure I've got this right. Or no, it's Ashtoreth is the lady. So is Molech a guy too? I lose track. Anyways, they killed babies. It was pretty bad. So their religion though was so bad that not only did God say don't worship the same way they do, he says don't marry anyone who worships like that. Don't marry anyone who has a religion like that, because then you will walk into that religion just because you married them. That's how much God hated that religion. To just worship the wrong thing is one thing. To worship the wrong thing by killing babies, that is a whole nother thing. That goes way too far. So yeah, he was against anyone marrying the Canaanites. He wanted their line to die out. He wanted their religion to die out. Okay, so you have the second paragraph now. Verse 5 is it.
The servant asked, but what if I can't find a young woman who is willing to travel so far from home? Then I should take Isaac there to live among your relatives in the land you came from.
No, it's reasonable. Honestly, if some guy shows up from another country and just starts walking around, hey, you want to marry my master's son? He lives like several hundred miles away.
Central Asia.
I could take you to him. You want to go?
That doesn't sound like
No, that's like the guy pulling up in the van and saying, "You want to ride?"
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't.
I
Once
guess
This is a weird thing to like go off to a foreign country without Isaac, to go off without Abraham, to just show up and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm nobody. I'm just the servant of a guy," and that guy, he wants you to marry his son, and you're gonna be saying this to like a woman who knows neither person. She doesn't know the dad. She doesn't know the son. She also doesn't know the servant. So like this is a strange request. So the servant immediately asks, "What if she won't come? Can I bring him there? Because that seems more reasonable." Anyways, that doesn't seem like what Abraham wants. We'll see in the next verse.
Why are your pants ripped?
Because most of my pants are ripped.
Then you need to throw them away and immediately get new ones.
No, he just wanted to be on
Do
the
they
new trend.
stop working as pants?
Yeah, that's like
If they fall down.
against
That's-
the law.
Well, if they fall down where they rip, then I'll just have
No,
shorts.
that's against the law.
Your jorts.
Jorts.
Shorts and jeans.
Yes, I got the reference. Okay, anyways, Matt, you've got the third paragraph.
Or
You've got
sheens.
Holy
6
like
through
10.
8. Shh. Matt, you've got 6 through 8.
Okay. No. Abraham responded, "Be careful, never take my son there. For the Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and my native land, solemnly promised to give this land to my descendants. He will send his angel ahead of you, and he will see to it that you find a wife there for my son. If she is unwilling to come back with you, then you are free from this oath of mine. But under no circumstances are you to take my son there."
So Abraham had left the place where he's sending his servant. The place where he's sending his servant is essentially where he used to live. And Abraham left there because God said, leave. So in his mind, going back there is like breaking the deal you have with God. So he's saying, don't let Isaac go there. I don't want to chance it. I don't want to let him possibly break what we have going on with God. God has guaranteed this whole place where we are now is going to be ours someday, and it's going to happen through Isaac. It's going to happen to Isaac and his kids and his kids and his kids. So if Isaac goes back, Abraham's afraid the whole deal's off. So he says, no. If she won't come back, then just skip it.
Just put her back
Just
over
skip
her head
it.
and run.
And that's interesting because that essentially means no, Wes. That essentially means that in Abraham's mind, there's two evils. There's marrying a local girl who worships gods that demand babies as sacrifices, and there's leaving the place where God told you to go. And in his mind, leaving the place where God told you to go is worse than marrying an evil woman. Do you follow that? Like, that's Abraham's little structure here. That, or he just randomly assumes that Isaac will never marry. I don't know which it is, but I don't think it's that one. I assume it's not that one. I really have nothing else to go on but what I know, but yeah, I don't think it's that one. Anyways, you've got paragraph 4, and then we'll finally get back to the hand under his thigh thing. So paragraph 4 is 9 through 11. We'll just wait till we get there.
Okay. So the servant took an oath by putting his hand under the thigh of his master, Abraham. Follow Abraham's instructions. Then he loaded 10 of Abraham's camels with all kinds of expensive gifts.
Explosive.
He's not going to try and attack the town where he's going.
He traveled to distant Iran. Oh no, Iran.
He definitely did run.
What is that?
Aram Naharam.
Oh no, he
There he
didn't.
went to the town where Abraham's brother Nahor had settled. He made the camels kneel beside a well just outside the town. It was evening, and the woman who
No, it says and the women.
were coming out to draw water.
Thank you very much. You had to put up with a lot. I'm sorry. Weston, please do not make any more shoe-related noises or clicky sounds if you can help it. Yeah, just quit. Okay, so hand under thigh. I looked this up, and no one is certain. It died out before we had good records of
Several of them, I think, do not actually know
where a thigh is. Yeah.
thigh?
Have you guys ever eaten a chicken? Anyone ever eaten a chicken? Okay.
Chicken?
Where is the drumstick on the chicken? Point to where your drumstick is.
In the booty.
Anyone?
Right here.
Anyone? Where is the drumstick?
I don't know. What's a
On a
drumstick?
chicken.
Right here.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It's right here.
None of you. Oh, thank you. Someone knows.
What?
It is the lower half of the leg is the drumstick.
See?
What
That's what
connects
he
the
said.
drumstick to the
Your
rest of
knee.
the chicken?
Your
The
knee.
body.
The
The
thigh.
thigh. So what
Oh.
connects
I knew it!
this to the rest of your body?
What's a thigh?
It's everything from your hip to your knee.
That's a thigh?
This is your thigh. The
See, I told you.
whole
I
way.
told
All the
you.
way from the hip, all the way down to the knee.
I love
That's
you,
your
Master.
thigh. Holy cow. I didn't think that was a mystery
Why?
solving the
So your
great
thigh is
wonders
Well,
of
I
the
knew
universe.
what it was, I just wasn't
Okay,
certain.
so here's the deal. The hand under thigh, 3 possible translations from ancient
That's
history,
a law.
3 possible things it could mean, 3 possible reasons why. people did this back then as a way of swearing an oath. And 2 of them are too weird, I'm not even going to bring them up.
Weird.
So I'm going to give you the one that's the least weird, okay? This is the least weird one.
Oh, that's
And
the weirdest
frankly, we don't even know which one it is. It could be none of them, all right? So this is it,
Can
okay?
you list all of
So
them?
you've got like some kingly type. You've got some sort of like ruler, guy in charge person, right? And he's on his throne. He's sitting in his chair. He's sitting on his stool. I don't care what it is. He's sitting because he's in charge. He doesn't have to get up. And you are standing and you offer him your oath. You say, I swear I will do this. And he says, how do I know you're not going to walk out of this tent, walk out of this room, and suddenly just like laugh at me and start doing things that are completely against what you told me? And I kid you not, the reason they think they did this was because it was a humiliating act to let someone sit on your hand. And so by doing that, you were humbling yourself to like this incredibly low position where you would have to not only kneel down, but then you would have to like stick your hand under them so they could sit on it. And like that was the most humbling and humiliating thing. And now anyone who saw you do it would be like, no, I saw. You let him sit on your hand. Okay, that's the least weird of the 3 historical options
What's the
for put your hand under his thigh.
What's the weirdest?
The other 2, I don't even want to talk about.
What's
They're
the
too
most
weird.
I'm searching this up too.
No, it's too weird. Don't do it. Don't do
Daniel,
it.
what's
It's
the
too weird.
most-
Search history will be corrupted.
So if you guys do want to know and you really want to find out,
I'm looking it up on Google.
I demand
Alexa.
you look up on one particular website because I know they're biblically accurate.
Incognito.
And you don't even do it without
What
your
about
parents.
Alexa?
You have to have your parents with you when you look it up. okay?
Why? I'm
The
not
website
gonna do
is
that.
gotquestions.org. Gotquestions.org.
Got questions?
It's constant, just like flow of questions that people ask, not just kids, but like adults too. All the different
whoa.
Bible questions,
That's
all
not
the
good.
different God questions, and all the answers are from pastors. So they're really solid question answer
Is it?
pages.
I didn't see
And you
it.
can literally just look up. I'm at least in my search, when I typed in the question, got questions actually came up right near the top. But if it doesn't, you can just put in the phrase got questions and then your question, and it usually makes that website skyrocket to the top of Google. So very cool website. But again, this one is weird. If
Why?
you think that was weird, the other 2 are weirder,
Can you be emotionally
I'm looking it
scarred
up
from
like
this?
right now.
Why
Yes.
can't you just tell us?
which is why I'm not bringing it up.
Okay.
So we'll
I
leave
would
it at
rather
that.
be
We'll hope
emotionally
it's that,
scarred.
because man, I don't want it to be the other ones. And then we'll move on, and we'll forget this ever happened.
I'll see
So
you
you've got,
too.
and it's never going to get brought up again in the entire chapter or Bible, so you can just forget about it. So, verses 12 through 14.
Okay. Oh Lord, God of my master Abraham, he prayed, please give me success today and show unfailing love to my master Abraham. See, wait. See, I am standing here beside,
Shush.
beside the spring, and the young women of the town are coming out to draw water. This is my request. I will ask one of them, please give me a drink from your jug. If she says yes, have a drink, and I will water your camels too. let her be the one you have selected as Isaac's wife. This is how you know. This is how I will know that you have shown unfailing love to my master.
Okay, now this
do
is
you water
pretty
a camel?
common. How do you not water a camel, Matt? It's a phrase that you use about animals. If you work with animals, you may have actually heard the phrase.
I know
but
animal.
watering an animal is the same as giving it water. There is no difference.
Oh, it sounds like water.
It's just
Sounds like
a
watering
different way of
sounds
saying
like
it.
go
So
water
you're
my
not
pet. I'm gonna
actually
go water my pet.
watering
I'm gonna go
it?
water
No,
my
you don't like spritz the camel. And the camel like bats its long camel eyelashes. No, you
Gotcha,
give
really
it
good.
water to drink, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Now, this is a really big ask. It may not seem like it at first, but we're going to get there. We'll stack up the numbers on this.
Only 2
But
minutes. 1 minute. 3 minutes. 2. What?
this is not uncommon in the Bible. For someone to go out on a limb, they're doing something crazy, and they just pray to God. And they say, hey, God, I'm about to do something crazy. Can you prove to me this is what you want? Because I don't know. Can you prove it to me? Can you do something completely out of the ordinary so that I know I'm going in the right direction, so I know I'm doing the right thing? So what he asks for is, God, if I've picked the right woman for Isaac, then when I ask for a drink, make her be a woman who would say, I'll give water for your camels too. Now this is important because of how water was obtained back then. So you actually had to have a well, you had to have rights to use the well, you had to go to the well, it was usually outside of town, you had to carry a pot with you because watertight baskets and big enough wineskins weren't a thing. So you carry a giant pot with you. Once you get there with your giant pot, you then have to use probably some ramshackle bucket or other pot with like rings in it with a rope to like get water out of the well, fill up your pot, then pick up your pot, then walk your pot full of water all the way back into town, bring it into your house, pour it into some sort of cistern, like big bathtubby water storage thing that's in your house.
And go back.
And then go back because one pot wouldn't be enough. You wouldn't be able to carry enough water in one pot probably for just one person. So if you're the only person getting water for your family, you have to go back as many times as there are people in your family, at least.
One.
And then if you have animals at your house, you have to go back a lot more times. Yes.
I wasn't listening. Can you say that?
I will. And I'll do it with visuals.
I'm like 1 minute.
Alright, so today, guys,
1
we
minute.
have this massively
Are you gonna throw that
improved
at
piece
us?
of technology
Can I do your
called the water jug.
Oh,
And the water jug weighs effectively nothing. Like I could throw this in the back of your head and it probably wouldn't hurt. Because it just weighs so little. But the weird thing about pulling out a gallon of water is it suddenly weighs a lot. Does anyone know how much a gallon of water weighs?
Pound.
Oh, it's just an alarm. I want to answer it. So, anyone know how much this weighs when you fill it up?
A pound.
Not a pound.
2 pounds.
Like 8.2 gallons.
It's really close. 8.345.
Oh.
Really close. 8.345. So one of these weighs 8.345 pounds. Now I don't have an 8.345 pound weight, and honestly, the handle on that jug kind of is sharp and cuts into your hand. So I brought 8-pound weights. So each one of these is close to a gallon of water. Now they're a little easier to lift than a gallon of water. Gallon of water is bigger. The bigger something is, the harder it is for your hand to hold. So
Can I
when
be
you
your test
compact
subject?
the 8 pounds down, it actually gets easier to move around. When it's big like a gallon jug, it has leverage on your hand. It wants to swing further than you want it to swing. So this is like a gallon of water. Just remember that for a moment. Now we have to ask a question. What was this person thinking? Because she does the thing that he says. He's asking someone for a drink for a human. Now, if I sat there in one place and didn't want to get sick, I couldn't drink a gallon of water in one sitting, in one place at one time, right? If I drink an entire gallon all in one place at one time, I would get sick because my stomach is not a gallon in size. I would overfill myself. So if I ask someone for a drink of water from a well, and they've got some big drawing pot, I'm not even going to take an entire pot of water. Does that make sense? Like, she's going to go to the well once and have more than enough for this guy. But what if she offers his Campbell's water?
Why are you way back there?
That Campbell's gonna get sick.
Because he had, if I remember correctly, 10 camels. So she would have to like fill it.
What is
For
that song?
say 2 camels had 1 jug. So like
5 times.
yeah,
Quick
5 or
math.
6
That
times.
sounds reasonable. Okay, let's double check this. Let's see what she does first. 15 through
18.
17. Who's got 15 through 17? You want the next one?
Yeah. No, this is one.
That one's yours. I met Abby. Do you want the next one? Okay, the next one's a smidge shorter.
Lord.
All right, Sam. So you've got 15 through 17.
Before he had finished praying, he saw a young woman named Rebecca coming out with her water jug on her shoulder. She was the daughter of
Bethuel.
Bethuel.
Bethuel, who was the son of Abraham's brother Nahor and his wife Milcah.
Milcah. You totally got it. You're doing great.
Rebecca was very beautiful and old enough to be married, but she was still a virgin. She went down to the spring, filled her jug, and came up. Running over to her, the servant said, "Please give me a little drink of water from your jug."
And then Abby, you've got 18 through 20.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
Yes, my lord, she answered. Have a drink. And she quickly lowered her jug from her shoulder
soon.
Check it off the balcony.
I'm pretty close because I know you guys are doing it on purpose.
Check it off the balcony.
Sorry.
I
Abby.
think
It
that
should be
any phone that has, you know, an alarm that goes purposefully off should be put outside of the phone bucket so they don't.
Okay,
have
no.
I don't think any of them get a prize now. I think they're all disqualified.
yeah, because there was only two phones in there.
Only two went off.
I know. I just want
But
the
there was
people
only
who
two
did the
phones.
prank to feel the scorn of the
It's
people
not
who
a
didn't do the prank.
But it was funny though.
It wasn't funny. She was in the middle of reading.
It was the
That's
funniest
what's
thing
the-
ever.
That's
Yeah.
really
That's
nice
like
for
probably the
someone
funniest
who's
thing.
not reading.
I know, right?
Okay, sorry.
No, we
Congratulations.
can't tell the time though. We can't be like.
Why are you still
"You're gonna
talking?
Read at this time.
Stop talking.
We don't know.
Shush.
He said, I'll draw water for your camels too, until they had enough to drink. So she quickly emptied her jug into the water trough and ran back to the well to draw water for all of his camels.
This is insane. Let's run the math on this. This is absolutely nuts. Okay. So, what did she do? Does anyone know how much water a camel can drink?
A lot.
Times two
A
gallons.
lot.
4 gallons.
Now, I know you guys have probably heard they store water in their
Yeah.
hump, but
Yeah.
that's not true. They don't.
How
That's
much
physically impossible.
It can down.
Their hump
20
on their
gallons
back
of
is
food.
actually fat, and they use it to store what would be like for us food. That's like what our fat is meant to be. It's
How
meant to
much
be a
water can
food
a
store.
camel drink?
So when they go through the desert, they don't just store large amounts of water, they store large amounts of calories.
They store it in their back.
So if you ever see a camel with like a squishy or a flat hump, it actually means they're malnourished and they've been living off their fat store to keep themselves alive. And if they have a nice big tall hump and you go to touch it and it's like really stiff like the cartilage on the top of your nose, then it's like, oh yeah, they've been eating. This guy's healthy. This guy has had tons of food. Their
So
fat
they
actually
feed
starts to
themselves?
get denser over time the more they try and store to cram nutrients into that same amount of space. So it gets harder the more food they're eating, and then the more they start to use that fat and their body starts absorbing it, the squishier and the squishier and the like squishier it gets until they're sick. They don't have enough fat.
Until they
So
die.
their body's totally used to the running on that, but their water is actually held in their normal body systems just like yours. Digestive tracts, blood, just like all the places where we store fluids, that's where they store their water. That said, they are much bigger than you. They weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
You don't know
So
that.
storing fluids in their digestive system and storing fluids in their blood is not the same as your digestive system and your blood. They can store a lot more water in all those different liquids in their body than you can. Like a lot more. So any guesses on how much they can drink in one sitting? Yeah.
32 pounds or 4 gallons.
32 pounds or 4 gallons. Okay, anybody else? That's not a bad guess. It's a great guess.
How's fucking
Yeah.
32 pounds?
Well, like, can their hump, like, explode or?
No,
Like-
because their body is in charge of
Yeah.
putting that there. It's just like us too. If you eat too much food to the point where your body can't handle it, it just comes out as poop.
Okay.
You just poop it out. It's excess stuff. You don't need it. Okay. Yeah.
You can down 10 gallons of water in 10 minutes.
10 and 10. That's getting close. Yes.
12.
9. Not bad. Anybody else?
20
12.
and 20.
Yeah.
15.
15. Getting closer.
22.
20 and 20.
20 is the low end.
What?
20 is what a camel can drink if it's had a normal day. If a camel is on the verge of death, it can drink 50. So if it hasn't had water in a very long time, it's about to die, it can drink 50 gallons in a sitting. Now the 20 gallons only takes about 15 minutes to drink.
I can drink 80 gallons.
It can drink that in about 15 minutes. That means a camel can drink over a gallon on a normal day in under a minute.
I need 80 gallons of
In under a minute. And that's like not even that thirsty when it can do that. It can hit that same 50 in about the same amount of time when it's thirstier.
Under a minute, I can
It
do
drinks
that.
faster when it's thirstier. So 20 to 50 gallons. And then what did we say? A gallon weighs
8 pounds.
it's
Oh,
like
eight-
8.345.
8.345.
Now that
What is
will
that?
change
8,000
based on
pounds?
mineral content, salinity. You know, if you're getting out to that last decimal point,
One-
it's not
106
fixed. It's a little flexible.
160,000 pounds.
Flexible.
No, just one.
Anyways, round it off to 8 or don't, whatever. But now, how many camels were brought?
10.
10.
How
So
much
now you're
time
starting to
is
see the math
it?
problem. Now we're looking at a minimum of 20 times
much is it?
8.345 times 10,
Boy.
and that's your minimum number. That is 1,669 pounds minimum. And since it's not a fixed number, she doesn't say, I will bring you exactly 20 gallons per camel. She says, I'll bring you till your camels have drank their fill. So that's a top end of 4,173 pounds. Now, working that out to 8-pound weights doesn't come out to a clean 200. Does anyone know how many reps you would have to do?
What's a rep?
A rep is carrying this from the well over to the camels and then going back again. But this is the trick. I don't have a clay pot. So really, she wouldn't be lifting 8 pounds per trip or 8 times however many gallons.
Like 15.
It would really be 8 times however many gallons plus the weight of clay. And on the way back, you still have to carry the weight of the clay pot. And when you get back to the well with your empty clay pot, you don't just get to turn on the faucet and fill it up with water. You have to draw the water from the bottom of the well with a rope. So you have to do rope pulling and then tip that into your portable pot, put it back in there, and then pick up your portable pot. So like we're not just talking like
porta potty.
We're not just talking like curling 8 pounds over and over. We're talking a serious, over-the-top, ridiculous workout. Like this is the full body Bowflex experience. This is next level.
The next
Yes,
level
Weston.
is your pizza test.
A fitness now, face. So, well, first of all, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Cool. Good job.
Why couldn't camels just have like jumped into the well?
I want to know why they don't have camel straws.
Yeah, just like
Giant hose.
like
You stick down to the bottom of the well, and the camel just gets on there.
because the well would be empty by then.
They can drink really fast. That's a good point. Okay, how many reps do you guys think you'd have to do with one of these to get to where she was?
5,000.
Yeah.
20,000.
What?
100 billion.
100 billion?
I-
No. Because they're 8-pound weights, right? It's not a 1-pound weight. Yeah.
20,000.
Why did you raise your hand?
30 quadrillion.
862.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We got numbers. Okay, good. Yeah.
Like 1,600.
1,600. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Yes?
5,651 and a half.
No, it's none of those giant
And a half.
gargantuan numbers.
1,000.
Minimum, it'd be 209 reps. But we're not talking a
that's not
curl.
bad.
We're talking a rope pull plus walking and the pouring in between.
So
That's
if it's
easy.
your pizza
So
test-
it would be some serious workout just in the rope pulling because that's a whole different muscle group. That's all these top muscles. And then when you go to carry, then it's a bunch of core as you walk and balance giant weight on your shoulder.
Oh, that too.
You have to do
That's
rope
a
pound
lot.
of all the water you draw.
It's easy.
Or rope pull of all the water you draw. And then
That's
you have to put it
easy.
on your shoulder and
That's
carry
okay.
it. Does anyone want to try 209
Yeah.
reps real quick?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Let's go, let's go.
Let's go, yes, you and Peach,
That's
go
not
for it.
fair.
There's 2 weights. You can go back and forth. You can
He's
hand them
weak.
to
I'm
Samuel.
calling the police.
And Samuel will hold them, and then you can
And then I
switch
can
and do
do
the
that.
other person's weight. Just
But
go.
he's weak.
209. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. Wait. You gotta like, you guys gotta start off from each other. So there's a
What?
weight in each
What?
place.
Yeah, you
Start on
grab
opposite
it.
sides. Start on opposite sides.
Start-
No.
no,
You start
no.
there. She starts there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the weights will both end up on the wrong side at the same time. Okay, you ready? And then go. Okay, so here we go.
He's weak.
That's one. Now you put it there and you go back empty-handed, and then you get hers. No, Peach. Now you grab that one. You're gonna switch weights every time. I feel like this should be obvious, but apparently not.
This
Okay,
is easy.
that's 2.
No, that's one. That's one.
No, that's 2. That's 2. And there we go. That's 3. So every time they cross with a weight, you count. And then and that's 4.
Yeah,
Good job, guys. You've done 4. You've done 4.
Daniel.
He quit. He quit after 4.
I'll do it. Yeah, Weston. I'll do
All right,
it.
guys. If
Us
someone
try.
else wants to try it, we got to start with the
Us
weights
try.
on opposite sides.
Us try.
So Abby, Weston. Sorry, she grabbed the weights.
What?
Okay, start on opposite sides, and we're
This
only
is
counting
bullying.
if you cross with a weight. If you cross empty-handed, there's no count. Okay.
Holy-
So here we go. All right, ready? Go.
What the?
Okay, so
Why are you
one.
running? We have to
Wait.
run.
Well,
You didn't tell
they're
us.
not doing nearly as much work as she would have been
No,
doing.
not even close.
So
Two.
running adds a little
Running
bit,
adds a
at
little
least.
extra because there's no rope pull going on.
But these are kids.
Well, it just says she was marriageable. It doesn't say how old
far
she
did
was.
she
She could be
walk?
their age. That's
They're
3.
already at
Wait.
4.
No, that's
Daniel,
3.
do we know
I'm
how
pulling
far
up
she
the rope,
That's
man.
4.
Daniel, do we know how far she had to walk?
Daniel.
It was near the well,
10
not that far.
million.
Okay, why couldn't the
That's
camels
5.
just go right by them?
Because the well's deep, it doesn't matter how close they are. There has to be a watering trough too. They can't drink right from the pot.
How much have they done?
That's 5.
Why do I have boots on?
That's 5? That's not 5?
And that's 6.
No, it's not.
Bad idea, Peach. You're gonna die. That's 7. Whoa, no, Weston, do not do that. You gotta hand it to her if she's gonna be there. Peach, I would recommend moving. You're down low, Peach. You're gonna get your teeth knocked out.
That's not
I think
5.
we're at like 9 now. I think this is 9. I think I missed it.
Can I take my boots off?
And then this is 10.
No.
It didn't say how much time it took.
Okay, and we've got 1 quit after 10. It's hard, isn't it?
No!
I'm not trying to say you guys are weak. I'm not.
super
I'm trying to say this is hard.
Going.
This is legit hard work.
Wait.
Okay, let's quit. Let's quit. Good job, guys. Way to go, Wesley. All right, so
Can we do
Weston,
the?
are you breathing any heavier?
Can we do the second service with my boots off?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I would prefer no boots next time, so there's less studying.
Second service is
All right, so the point
I don't wanna take
is,
off my belt.
she did something really difficult, and this is the wild part, guys. No one asked her to. Did you catch that?
Wow.
He prayed, God, would the woman, if she's the right woman, please offer my camels water. And then he asked her for a drink for himself, just himself. And then she said, out of the clear blue, after he's had his drink, he hasn't said anything else. She says, hey, let me get water for your camels too.
Wow,
She
that's
just sees the
so
thirsty guy with thirsty
good.
camels and immediately jumps to,
It's
I
so
should
much-
get water for the camels. So this is an exemplary person. I don't care if it's a man, a woman, or a child. Anyone who does something like this is a cut above the rest. Most people will not do this. If you see a hungry person outside a restaurant and you're going in and you have extra money in your pocket, you might think to yourself, I'm going to buy them food. They look hungry. But if you're going into a restaurant broke and you're going to have to like go beg the manager, can I go wash your dishes? I need to earn some food. And then you give that food to a different hungry person. Now you're approaching the level we're on here. Because there's no thing in this that what she did was free. There's nothing in this that like what she does is from her excess. You know, like, oh, I've got some spare water. Let me give it to your camels. She had to work for every drop that those camels drank. Does that make sense?
No.
Every drop the camels drank, she worked for. There was nothing free about what she was doing. Every ounce was her own labor. So when she offers this freely, she's not really giving him something that's free.
Did the servant help at all or no?
Ooh, there was a lady.
This is the wildest part. You ready? You got your part to read. Here we go.
What?
Right here, verse 21. Verse 21. Watch what happens. I love it. And 22. You got 21 and 22.
Okay. The servant watched her in silence, wondering whether or not the Lord had given him success in his mission. Then at last, when the camels had finished drinking, he took out a gold ring for her nose, and 2 large gold bracelets for her
Wrists. Very common piece of jewelry back then. I know it's not like
What
the
is
most
ring?
common thing now,
Wait,
but
What is
Nose
those
rings?
rings?
a nose ring, yeah. So,
I have
I
one
know.
of those.
It's not super common now, but people get nose rings still.
Wait, they
Yeah.
had those back
I have
Yeah,
eye rings.
totally. Nothing new under the
piercings
sun,
back
man.
then?
But they
If,
didn't.
if
do,
there's a
like,
way to
the
put a hole in
color
someone and
things,
it
they
looks
literally just,
different
like,
and
go.
cool and weird and it
Have you
doesn't
ever-
hurt them and kill them,
Have you ever had
people
an
will
eye
do
ring?
it. It doesn't take till
So
modern
guys
technology.
covered, like, I have
It
that
doesn't
one.
take till
I've
sanitization.
had a
Like,
tooth ring.
as soon as you can figure out how to do it, they're
A
gonna do
tongue
it.
ring.
Tattooing,
Wait,
same
that's
deal.
weird.
Like tattooing is ancient.
Wait, what about a
Oh,
eye
yeah,
ring? Is an
super
eye ring
ancient.
real?
It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like repeatedly stab your skin while there's ink on your skin, so the ink will go down into your skin.
Did they have
Like,
a different way?
But they
back
still
then?
did that.
Did they have a different way back then?
Well, they didn't have a mechanical needle. Right now, like now we have a needle that goes like several hundred times a second, back and forth, back and
They
forth,
used
back and
to,
forth.
like,
Back and
Wouldn't
forth.
that hurt?
But they used to just sit there and poke you repeatedly by hand.
Like hit you the.
Hey, what's Moana?
In Hawaii, they
They
used
use,
to
like,
use a
rock.
stick
And
that had a bunch of sharp points in it, and they would hit the back of it like you were hitting like a chisel and hammer kind of a situation.
Oh no.
But instead of a chisel, it's like another hammer, but it has a bunch of needles in the face of the hammer. And so like you would hold the first hammer over the skin and then like bop the hammer, but the hammer would be dipped in ink first,
Oh
like
my
the spiky
gosh.
one. So you're
That
just
must
like putting a
hurt.
spiky hammer on you and then bopping it with another hammer.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for hundreds of
You
years.
could kill something
Hundreds
like
of
that.
years. Somehow not. I don't really get it. It seems like putting a bunch of, random plant goo under your skin should just like poison you to death. But yeah,
Can I try again without the police?
try it again without the Heelys after. I want to finish this
Excuse
chapter.
me, yeah,
If
me
you
too.
guys
I
want
wanna
to take
try
the
without
challenge
the
later, you can take the challenge.
Excuse
I'm gonna say
me.
like 209 is the golden number. If you can make it to 209, you win.
Excuse me.
Because that's
Can
like
we
the
win, like-
minimum of what she
Can
did.
we win like a free drink or something?
Sure.
Mr. Bombay.
Why not? Okay,
I want
so
You backed down.
he read 21:22.
Can we
He
win
sat
money?
in silence, guys. He watched her do this, and this is what I love. It doesn't say sat and marveled or sat and was so impressed. It says sat and wondered. Is this God showing me what I asked him to show me? Think about it. He asked beforehand, hey God, if it's the right woman, have her do something ridiculous that no one would ever do. That's just like stupid, how hard it would be. And then he walks up and the first girl he talks to immediately does the thing that he prayed about. And his response is to go, I wonder if that's an answer to my prayer.
Nani?
I don't know. Maybe. What? But anyways, he does figure it out. I guess she kept going long enough. He watched how hard she was working for random strangers' camels. And he goes, okay, that's probably the girl. So then we get to 23 through...
Yep.
Well, let's have you read a couple because we're falling behind here. Let's do 23 through 25.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes to read like
Shush!
5.
You're not helping, Weston?
2, 8.
Whose daughter are you? He asked.
Mine.
And please tell me, would your father have any room to put us up for the night? I am the daughter of Bethuel, she replied. My grandparents are Nahor and Milcah. Yes, we have plenty of straw and feed for the camels, and we have room for guests.
It was a fairly common thing in that era. If you were well-to-do, you had money, you had means, to put up strangers who were coming into your land. It's a nice way to make friends. It was just polite. And by propagating this culture, you were able to actually go on vacation yourself. If you take in strangers where you are, then the idea, the hope, is that people will take you in when you're somewhere as a stranger. Because he hasn't revealed himself yet. He is the servant of family, but he hasn't told them that. Abraham is related to these people. He knows that, but they don't know it yet. Okay. Peach, you want to read 26 and 27?
The man
Bowed?
bowed low and worshipped the Lord. Praise the Lord, the God of my master Abraham. He said, the Lord has shown unfailing love and faithfulness to my master of he has lead me straight to my master relative.
There we go. All right, I'll do 28 through 31. The young man ran home to tell her, the young woman ran home to tell her family everything that had happened. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, who had ran out to meet the man at the spring. He had seen the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists and had heard Rebekah tell what the man had said. So he rushed out to the spring where the man was still standing beside his camel. Laban said to him, "Come and stay with us, you who are blessed by the Lord. Why are you standing here outside the town when I have a room all ready for you and a place prepared for the camels?" And then Weston, you've got 32 through 33.
So the man went home with Laban, and Laban unloaded the camels, gave him straw for their bedding, fed them, and provided water for the man and the camel drivers to wash their feet. Then food was served, but Abram's servant said, I don't want to eat until I have told you I have come.
And that next line is part of 33 too.
All right, tell us,
Cool.
said Laban.
said Laban.
Laban said.
There we go. Okay, cool. And then you've got 34 through 35.
I am Abraham's servant. He explained, and the Lord has greatly blessed my master. He's become a wealthy man. The Lord has given him flocks of sheep and goats, herds of cattle, a fortune in silver and gold, and many male and female servants, and camels and donkeys.
Awesome. Abby, you're going to take the next section, 36 through 38.
When Sarah, my master's wife, was very old, she gave birth to my master's son, and my master has given him everything he owns. And my master made him take an oath. He said, "Do not allow my son to marry one of these local Canaanite women.
Mm-hmm.
Go instead to my father's house, to my relatives, and find a wife for my son."
All right, now obviously this seems a little strange if you're actually tracking the family tree. If you are, that means that you understand that Laban and Rebekah, the youngest generation over in this town, are the nephew and niece of Isaac, who is basically their same age. So because of how old Abraham and Sarah were when they had kids, it means that
So
2 generations equal in size to 3 generations on the other side
Wait,
of the
so
family. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying
Yep.
is that Rebecca would be marrying her uncle?
Correct.
Alabama.
And that's why I said this sounds strange if you're tracking. If you're not tracking, you're like, yeah, whatever, they're loosely related. No, they're pretty closely related. It's not that far. Abraham was the brother of Rebekah's grandpa. And then Isaac would be the cousin of Rebekah's dad. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah.
It does to me.
So it's not like uncle and niece like we're thinking, it's uncle niece once removed.
So you can't date
Because
them.
it's like what we would call sometimes a great niece or a great nephew
Yeah.
or a yeah,
I have a cousin once removed.
cousin once removed, there you go. So it's just like that. So it's your cousin's kid, not your brother's kid, right? Your nephew or your niece would typically be your brother or sister's children. This is your cousin's children. So the link up is one more generation above than in an uncle-niece situation. So they're a generation off like an uncle and a niece, but they're not tied together on the same generation. They're tied together a generation up. A little tricky. Yeah.
I have an uncle that's older than me. No.
You have a what?
I have an uncle that's younger than me.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that weird when that happens? Super strange. My wife's best friend is like the same age as her niece. They're the same age. Isn't that strange? Yeah. What were you saying?
Exactly.
So that was okay.
Interesting you would ask. Yeah, the rules on who you can and can't marry get changed throughout the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years we've been marrying people.
Who can you take?
Um,
Who can you take?
cultural norms have come and gone. At this point in time, there wasn't a lot of rules because there wasn't really any big governments. Most governments at this point in history were very, very small. A city at the biggest. The rare exceptions enter into history as a huge powerhouse like Egypt. Egypt is like famous for being part of ancient history because they were a country at a point in history where there was basically no countries. There were just cities. So at this point, if there was a law, it didn't apply very many places. It only applied in like one town. So depending on where you were, it's like whatever people around you would accept. And this would be not that weird at this point in history. At this point in history, you might live off in some far-flung place and there really is only your slightly distant family around. You'd have to go find a new city to find someone you weren't distantly related to. So there was a little bit more looseness with how closely you could be related before it got weird. Almost as far back as you go, brother and sister was weird. Cousin, the very next thing that would become weird. And then once you get past that, it starts to get a little fuzzy, especially this far back in history. Anything past cousins starts to kind of be okay. Yeah.
In my school, in my history class, we've been learning a lot about Israel
Cool.
and about the Jews and the Christians,
Awesome.
and like how they believe in different, like in the New Testament and the Old Testament.
Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We got both of them in the same Bible. So,
Yeah.
It's Groundhog's Day tomorrow.
is it really?
It's what?
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you're asking if it is?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Wait, what
is it
happened?
what day?
He asked if tomorrow was a holiday, Groundhog's Day.
Warthog Day?
You had your hand up, Abby. Did you have something you still wanted to ask? Say? Add?
No.
Sorry, I just called on him first. Yours was up back at the same time. Oh,
Raise your hand.
yeah, I thought so. maybe it was just like a odd head itch and I misinterpreted it. Okay, let's move along because we got to try and finish this thing.
We got
All right.
exactly 50 seconds.
Okay, so we did up to 38.
only
Now we
have
need
50
39.
seconds.
Matt, I think it's you.
Wait,
39. 39 through 41.
But I said to my master, what if I can't find a young woman who is willing to go back with me? He responded, The Lord in whose presence I have lived will send his angel with you and will make your mission successful. Yes, you must find a wife for my son from among my relatives, from my father's family. Then you will have fulfilled your obligation. But if you go to my relatives and they refuse to let her go with you, you will be free from my oath. So today when I'm reading the rest, okay? Yeah.
That's fine. Just read all of it.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
What? Read all the way to 25?
You can read whatever you want to. Go for it, Matt. Less talking, more reading.
So today when I came to the spring, I prayed this prayer. Oh Lord God, oh Lord God of my master Abraham, please give me success on this mission. See, I am standing here beside the spring. This is my request. When a young woman comes to draw water, I will say to her, please give me a little drink of water from your jug. If she says yes, have a drink, and I will draw water from your camels too. Let her be the one you have selected to be the wife of my master's son. Before I had finished praying in my heart, I saw Rebecca coming out with her water jug on her shoulder. She went down to the spring and drew water. So I said to her, please give me a drink. She quickly lowered her jug from her shoulder and said, yes, I have a drink, and I will water your camels too. So I drank, and then she watered the camels. Then I asked, whose daughter are you? She replied, I'm the daughter of Bethuel, or whatever that says, and my grandparents are Nahor and Milky. So
Oh, we're
so I
past.
put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrist. Then I bowed low and worshipped the Lord. I praised the Lord, the God
My master.
of my master Abraham, because he had led me straight to my master's niece to be his son's wife. So tell me, will you or won't you show unfailing love and faithfulness to my master? Please tell me yes or no, and then I'll know what to do next. Then Laban and Bethuel replied, the Lord was obviously so so there's nothing we can say. Here's Rebecca, take her and go. Yes, let her be the wife of your master's son, and the Lord is directed. When Abraham's servant heard their answer, he bowed down to the ground and worshipped the Lord. Then he brought out silver and gold and jewelry and clothing and presented them to Rebecca. He also gave expensive presents to her brother and mother. Then they ate a meal, and their servant and the men with them stayed over there overnight. But early the next morning, Abraham's servant said, send me back to my master, but we want Rebecca to stay with us the last 10 days. Her brother and mother said, then she can go. But he said, don't delay me. The Lord has made my mission successful. Now send me back so I can return to my master. Well, they said, we'll call Rebecca and ask her what she thinks. So they called Rebecca. Are you willing to go with this man? So they asked her, and she replied, yes, I will go. So they said goodbye to Rebecca and sent her with Abraham's servant and men. The woman had been Rebecca's childhood nurse, went along with her. They gave her this blessing as they parted. Our sister may become the mother of millionaires.
Not mother of millionaires. We're close.
May her descendants be
Is
strong
that
and
my
conquer the
fault?
cities of their enemies. Then Rebecca and the servants girls mounted the followed cannons. So
Dude, you should.
Abraham's servant took Rebecca and went on his way. Meanwhile, Isaac, who come was in the Negev and had returned from Berlav one evening as he was walking and meditating in the fields, he looked up and saw the camels coming. When Rebecca looked up and saw Isaac, she quickly dismounted from her camel. "Who is that man walking through the fields to meet us?" she asked the servant, and he replied, "It is my master." So Rebecca covered her face with her veil. Then the servant told Isaac everything he had done. When Isaac brought Rebecca into his mouth.
No.
Isaac brought Rebecca into
You know
his
you're reading
mouth.
too fast, man. All right, Matt. Try, man. Try. You're almost there. You're doing
His
great.
mother served tent, and she became his wife. He loved her deeply and saw this special comfort to him after the death of his mother.
She was a special. Yeah, good job. All right, guys. Let's pray real quick.
We have to do that thing.
Into his mouth.
Matthew, are you saying for second service?
No.
Hello.
Have a seat.
I almost said
All right, let's pray. Thank you, Matt. That was excellent.
That was hard.
thank you.
You did really good. I'm impressed.
You read that in 7 minutes.
I have never laughed that hard in my life.
Lord, we thank you for a servant like Matt who's willing to take on something like that. We thank you, Lord, for the example we saw today of Rebecca being someone who's willing to do not only your will when she's certain it's your will, but just to be kind. When she's not certain about anything else, she knows she can be kind, Lord. Help us to learn from that example. To look at someone like Rebecca and understand that you blessed her and you loved her. But then in response to that, she was kind to everyone, even to complete strangers. She was self-sacrificing. She was willing to give something of herself, even to someone she barely knew. Help us, Lord, to have that kind of compassion, that kind of kindness in our lives. Help us to find opportunity wherever we can, to hunt for it, to look for it, to be on the lookout, to spot those moments where we can help someone, where we can give them a piece of our effort, a piece of our time. Help us, Lord, to be like Rebecca in that way. We ask you, Lord, for all of these things, and we ask them in your name. Amen. I love you guys. If you haven't signed up for topic nights, grab a flyer on your way out.
There's a bowl.
Sign up when you get
No,
it.
don't relax your hand.
If your parents don't know about the prayer meetings on February.
I went.
Hey, don't you touch
That was
it.
hard to read that.
No, Mike. Daniel, don't let Michael do the phone bucket.
Get away.
Oh no. Get away from me.
I'm seeing drip. Oh no, that's a really, really bad.
Daniel, do the phone bucket.
Dump it all out, like chuck it on the ground.
Yes.
He's messing him up.
Do it.
No phone bucket. It's canceled.
Oh, it's canceled.
I
Yeah.
couldn't
You guys prank the phone
Okay,
bucket.
see ya.
I didn't prank.
Whose phone is
Hit them up
this?
for,
What is
for
that?
money or something. Like
Does it
it's
say-
their-
Yeah,
Let's
new
see.
phone.
Yes, it says weird words. I'm gonna cut this out and give it to my sister.
That's very strange. Why would you do that? Yes, one is a parent meeting coming up, one is topic nights coming up. So one's kind of for you, one's kind of for your parents.
Hey Jacob,
You enjoy the game?
are you now in junior
Or,
high?
you know, commercials or whatever it is you're gonna enjoy.
Dang it.
The Doritos commercial.
The Doritos commercials. How's it going, man? Pretty good.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Okay. Oh no. So why don't they work in your gun though? Interesting. So they off-brand darts or they normal darts? And yet. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take them. Right on. Yeah, I'm mostly switching my flywheel over to rival raft anyways. Awesome, man. Thank you. Sure. Go. It is the 21st of February. It's coming up quick. Because pretty soon everyone's gonna be.
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
We should have like an airsoft.
But there's crybabies.
So you? What? Where'd she go?
She followed me. She was already in the hallway.
Oh, yeah,
Ayla, run! I hate you!
No!
T-bar, T-bar.
Oh, Ayla, get out. Leave.
Ow, that hurt my foot.
Ow.
Are you wearing that?
Oh.
You like missed the last time. What the heck? Stop her. Ayla, where are you
Ayla,
going?
Ayla, Ayla. Oh, go, get it, go.
Call running from bed.
It's okay.
I broke my drumstick.
You did?
What'd you do?
See the crack right
Can I see?
Oh, he was hitting.
Don't
Logan,
see
he
that.
was hitting
Okay,
the
is your
seat.
arm okay?
My
Your arm is
and my
okay.
face.
I don't know.
Logan, last time he was hitting the drumstick against like the stool.
Where's my
He was
purse?
swearing and he kept ripping it by hitting
Where's
it.
my purse?
It's like a super flimsy.
If I had these things last night, I could have just totally nailed Nate right between the eyes.
It's up there. You need to tie your shoe.
Oh, Daniel, you saw the red marks, right?
Yes, the marks that like Aiden was through the wall of
There's
us.
something in the whole conversation.
Oh, and apparently why Logan had marks is because somebody like one of the little kids and worse than the little kid, he's looking like the preschoolers and stuff. One of the little kids was like wrapping his arms around his neck and like chasing him around and like scratching his neck.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why his neck was all red.
That would explain it.
Is the way it's okay?
The 21st.
Happy Groundhog
February
Day.
what's the Friday? Friday the 21st. The third Friday of the month.
I am no longer.
You told me to call you Mr. Cashburn.
I am Mr.
Happy
Goldbar.
Groundhog Day, everybody.
When is Groundhog Day?
Today.
Oh, it's today. Someone asked if it was tomorrow. I was like, I don't know.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Little Valentine. I think I already bought these green ones before. Yeah. Yeah, they work okay in most plasters. The heads are really heavy and stiff.
I could
Yeah, I
probably
think that
make
makes
an
it certain
epic
rollers in the
out of those ones that
flywheels are softer than others, and then some are really hard. And if it doesn't compress, it will grab it.
Yeah.
And say, like, but this is really compressible.
Yeah, so
I have to go downstairs.
So it's just like right as it pushes it up, it would get stuck.
yeah, or like it would get kind of stuck in
Yeah. It'll do it.
Oh, Daniel, come here.
Me. I thought you said Daniel, and I was like,
Of baby.
my name. Daniel's not my name. It's Daniel.
Oh, like you can't feed a baby in the car when you're driving. You can't with a toddler, you just have to start it. So, like when the baby is really hungry, we can either drive all the way home,
Taste two.
truck going on, or we can stay here on the Okay, we're ready to go.
The case will lock. The key's right here. So you can close it
No,
up
I
and then
just
just
don't
put the key in. And then you can lock it.
Constant stream. Sometimes we'll just look
Oh no, you can easily break that lock, but why are you so tired?
Running from that.
You'll like what we have today. We have a relay race. Both like 8-pound
There's a
weights.
certain point where like she just wants to eat because of what she knows
During service.
calms her down, and like it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
her actually
This one I actually got here when we cleaned out the
Yes, that is it.
room next door. There was like 5 guitars
Yeah,
there.
she's already stressing. Yeah, that's
Sometimes with this one you actually have to push it forward before it gets over. If you want, I can keep it for a little bit and then like
okay.
if you want to get a little bit earlier on
Going
Saturdays,
through the process?
we can do a little guitar lesson. And then once you actually get to
Let me
start playing it,
get your contact info.
I'll
I don't know how to
let you have it.
Okay.
So then you'll practice.
for you.
Yeah. So we can just keep this one in the little kids' room.
I'm tired. Maya woke me up this morning from snoring. She snores all this time. She was like,
In
Oh, yeah,
Juarez,
you finally getting there?
small cramped room. Like literally 3 guys were having a snoring competition on who could snore the loudest.
Like on purpose or on accident?
No idea.
Ayla, what
Ayla,
are you
stand on a chair so then they can't see your feet.
No, what's it called? Put this hat on you.
But you look like a high schooler now.
Ow. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
You do though. You're taller. Your Adam's apple sticks out like someone put a pen in your throat.
I know.
No.
Wow. Look. He does. Is he? Are you texting Ayla?
Yeah.
You realize that she's here at church.
She's trying to hide so she doesn't get trampled by.
Logan, Logan, look at me.
You can have a crush. I bought Sean just for you. Ooh, woo. What's the meaning of world with the episode?
Ha ha
Yeah,
ha.
I'm just forgetting it. I never buy those orders. I just get those so I don't think anyone should like them. Oh, do you not want it warmed up?
Oh no.
You want it cold?
No, no, no.
You want it. Okay.
Normally we don't warm them up by
Nate, that's such a good hiding place. Oh my gosh, like no one will be able to see you.
Cold s'more? Would you like yours cold?
What if somebody just like
Sounds like Parkinson's all over again, but not. Parkinson's, but not Parkinson's. That sounds like a Super Bowl ad right there.
I know all.
He just decided to not.
I know how much Danielle weighs when she's born. I know how
So
much.
scary. You were like the creepiest
Danielle, why is that scary? Danielle, I was there.
Logan just said,
I
I
gave
know
birth
how much
to
you
you.
weighed when you were born.
I do. I know how much Iowa weighed. I know how much Nate weighed. I know how much
That's scary.
weighed.
Logan's like, this reminds me how much people weigh when they're born.
I know the weight that
Hey Logan,
everyone-
how much did you weigh when you were born?
Probably too much. My poor mother like fell off of the birthing table thing. And I was so
Birthing table
freakishly
thing?
rather ginormous. I'm so glad Nate's not in here.
I would say $200 a safe bet.
No. Oh my gosh, you're so mean. You never steal a person's Pop Tart. So mean.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about what I did to my brother? What is sleeping? What's up, brother? I know. I got my shocking last night to my brother. I woke up and he got smiley face on his cheek. Did that like on Tuesday morning? I did that.
It's a yellow Crocs.
Wow, that smells intense.
Running away from me.
I am oh! How chocolatey that smells. Just give me your, let's see what chocolate nowadays. Yeah, there's a lot of cruddy chocolate, okay? It just tastes like light sweet. Some of the real good chocolate now,
I can play the guitar. Every time I get out the door, it's like going that way. I'm just going like this out the door. Hey, nice. I don't want to take back. Looks like I have to go to high school. That's a shame.